Hello, welcome everyone, and thank you for attending to this webinar, where I will try to present you the results, the recommendations of the Radar New Trends report. This report has been elaborated by Jose Fernandez last June 2023, but he has not able to join us to present the results. So this task has been assigned to me, so I will try to do my best and share with you my thoughts, my feelings after reading the report. Specifically, my main goal will be during this webinar to encourage everyone, to encourage all the attendees to read carefully the report, and specifically the section, the part that can be focused or related to your own innovation hubs, and to start working on the recommendations that the report makes for the entire alliance. The first thing that I would like to share with you is the main objective of this report. The main objective is that, as you probably know, the world that we are living is an extraordinary, volatile world. The things are changing so fast. The technologies are advancing so rapidly that what is important today, maybe, or even probably, is not going to be important tomorrow. So we don't have a clear and stable roadmap that can guide us through the next coming years. It's difficult to predict and to anticipate what is going to happen. So we need to work on pilots. We need to constantly adapt the GPS of our radar to predict this change and to stay at the forefront of the European University Alliance. And this is the main goal of the report. So taking into consideration this main objective, in this slide you can see the specific objectives of the report, including the identification of new trends and emerging challenges, but also trying to improve our ability as an alliance to draft the best proposals, gaining visibility and positioning, and we can do this through improving our scientific productivity in the different thematic challenge-related areas that we have in Ulysseus. This is the organization of the entire report. We are going to explain first the methodology. Then the most important and the biggest part of the report is an analysis, and specific analysis of the new trends in all the 8 innovation hubs. In the third section, the report explains us some cross-cutting issues, very important and transversal to all the innovation hubs. There is another section in which the report recommends us, proposes a foresight action plan. And finally, there is a section with conclusions and recommendations. So starting with the methodology, I think there are 2 main words, key words and important words that we have to understand before we start reading the report. And these 2 words are drivers and trends. What's a driver? A driver in the report is considered a factor that is able to induce a change. In this report, the different drivers has been organized in different categories. And these categories are called the STEP categories, and are the social changes, technology changes, economic changes, environmental changes, and political changes. These categories, of course, are not exclusive. That means that they can interact each other. For example, a new technology, a change in a technology, can induce a change in society, and a social change can induce a political change, and so on. So this is the first word that we have to take into account: the drivers, the factors that induce the change, and then the trends. A trend is considered a change, but a change just in the beginning, in the early phases, in the early stages of this change. So if a change has been already happened, is already occurred, we can react to this change. We can adapt to this change. But if we are able to detect the change, in the first stages, if we are able to detect the trends, we can anticipate these changes in a more proactive way. So we are going to be able to create something much more innovative that allows us as an alliance to differentiate ourselves from other European university and European actors. So this is the main important thing, to analyze and to identify the trends, not just the changes. Regarding the methodology, also it's important to keep in mind what is the structure of the report. For all the innovation hub, the report is going to show us the STEP drivers, the different drivers for each innovation hub: social, technological, economical, environmental, and political drivers, also the trends, and then an analysis of the research opportunities. And regarding the methodology, also, it's important to take into account the sources, the different resources that has been used to develop and to write the report. And in this sense, more than 150 different documents has been taken into account, has been reviewed, has been analyzed, including specialized literature on megatrends, global trends, new trends, and foresight studies. And this includes, for example, all the important foresight reports for the European Union, for the European Commission, but also other important reports, for example, the one of the Future Institute of the University of Copenhagen, and also, for example, some reports, important reports from private business, such as, for example, Deloitte or Waterhouse and Cooper. So this is the part of the methodology, and then we can move forward to the most important part of the report, that is the analysis of the new trends that has been proposed, has been developed in all the innovation hubs, for each innovation hub. So the report has carried out an analysis for each of the 8 innovation hubs of Ulysseus, but having 2 questions, 2 points, 2 issues into account always. And that the report thinks that is very important are cross-cutting issues that we must to implement and to have into account in all the innovation hubs. And one of them is that we have to work on the different innovation hubs, but in a transdisciplinary or with a transdisciplinary perspective, in which the social science and the humanities must be included in all our proposals. This is something that the report strongly recommend us, and that is important to include in the proposals. And also taking into account, of course, the Green Deal transition, and following a main objective that is to achieve or to work to have a long-term societal well-being. This is the main objective of us as an European alliance, trying to work in this long-term societal well-being. So I would like to show you a little bit in more detail one of the analysis of one of the innovation hubs, just one of them in more detail, because the other has followed the same scheme, the same way to be organized. And the one that I have chosen is the aging and well-being. Because although I work in Sevilla, so our innovation hub is the one of smart cities, but my field of expertise is aging and well-being. So when I read the report, this innovation hub is the one when I put more attention, which I focus most importantly. So let me explain you a little bit this innovation hub, the aging and well-being, and then the others. I will pass for the others a little bit faster because, as I mentioned, it's more or less the same way to be organized. Regarding the aging and well-being, all the innovation hub start with an introduction trying to explain why this innovation hub is so important for Europe. In the case of aging and well-being, you probably know that our society is experimenting a very, very fast aging. And this is because our life expectancy is increasing very fast in the last years, and is expected to increase year by year in the coming decades. But the birth rate is decreasing. So our society is experiencing this rapid aging. The problem is that this increase in the life expectancy is not accompanied by an increase in the quality of life in the last years of our life. So it is estimated that there is an average of 10 years at the end of our life, at the end of a person's life, where the quality of life decrease significantly. And we have to live with a poor quality of life and with a high level of disability. And this is the challenge. This is the problem that we are facing now in Europe, specifically, but all over the world. So after explaining this introduction, it's clear that we are going maybe to live longer, but not better. With this in mind, with this introduction in mind, the report is analyze a different kind of resources of literature and provide us around 10 key trends that the report thinks are important trends, important changes at the beginning of this change. After analyzing these trends, the report is going to show us the research opportunities that can be linked to these key trends. For example, in the case of aging and well-being, there is a new concept that is emerging in Europe, that is the ageism. That means the discrimination because of the age. This is a key trend, something that is new. Considering this, interesting research opportunities arise to prevent and counteract this ageism, to this discrimination because of the age within the Ulysseus network. This is an example of a key trend and how Ulysseus can work finding new research opportunities. But there are 10 different key trends. For example, the growth of the silver economy. That means these tools, these products that the other people are going to use, new mobility and automated vehicles, new generation of hearing aids, innovation in cognitive training, and so on. There is 10 different key trends. Of course, all these key trends is going to give us a clue to which could be the most important research opportunity. For example, creating video games for older people to decrease, for example, the feeling of loneliness, but also to increase or to improve the cognitive performance. So those are the research opportunities that the report has been analyzed and provide us. In the report, we can find the key trends, we can find the research opportunities, but the report also provides us a list of strategic partners. The report proposes not to work just in Ulysseus, just work within the alliance, but to open the alliance to some partners that could be important for these research opportunities. And these strategic partners has been selected, taking into account their experience and the state of the art in research that they have, and the experience and success in successful participation as coordinators in international research programs, such as, for example, Horizon Europe. So, for example, in the Aging and Wellbeing Innovation Hub, some strategic partners has been identified. For example, the Okinawa Center of Aging in Japan, or the World Health Organization, or the Universitat Rovira i Virgili in Spain. This is the report starts with the key trends and then the research opportunities, but finish with other research opportunities that consider that could be important. For example, this adult education and learning to improve the employability, housing and adaptation, to improve the public buildings, to meet the needs of an aging population, and so on. And this is the way in which all the innovation has been organized. First, an introduction, then the description of the key trends, then the rationale and the description of the research opportunities, and also the strategic partners and other research opportunities. The other innovation hubs, as I mentioned, follow the same scheme. So we have an introduction in robotics that is an innovation hub that, as maybe you know, is located and coordinated by the University of Genova. So we have the introduction, the key trends, the research opportunities, the strategic partners, and other research opportunities. In the case of the Innovation Hub of Applied Artificial Intelligence for Business and Education that is leading and coordinated for Helia, we have the same scheme, the same report. Same for energy, transport, mobility for smart cities that is coordinated by the University of Sevilla. With the digital transformation of industry, this innovation hub is coordinated by the Technical University of Košice, University of Tuke. The same, we have the introduction, why this digital transformation is important for the society and for Europe, which are the key trends, which are the research opportunities, which are the strategic partners, sustainable entrepreneurship and impact that is leading and coordinated by the MCI, the socioecological sustainability, and in this case, including the social science and humanities in this innovation hub, is coordinated and leading by the University of Münster. And finally, the cybersecurity, that is the innovation hub that is coordinated by the University of Montenegro. And I don't want to stop in each innovation hub, but to encourage you to read the entire report, and specifically the section of the report that is focused on your innovation hub. This is regarding the most important part of the report. I explain a little bit more in detail the one of aging and well-being and the others. The third section is related to the cross-cutting issue. That means some topics that are being identified as important that affect to all the innovation hubs, are transversal to all the innovation hubs. And the report has identified 5 different cross-cutting issues. The first one could be the social science and humanities. This is a very important cross-cutting issue, something that we have to include in all our proposal, or try to include in all our proposal. And actually, the report has a specific section, the Annex 6, in which the report shows us the different goals with significant social science and humanity aspects. For example, in this slide, you have the cluster 4, digital industry and space. And in the report, you can find the call, the deadline, the topic, but also this social science and humanities aspect that is important for all the course, and we must and we should include in all our proposals. The ethics, of course, is very important, also very transversal to all the innovation hubs. We have to take into account ethics in the aging and well-being, of course, but also in cybersecurity, in digitalization, sustainability, and so on. The gender dimension is also something that we have to include. All Ulysseus hubs, thematic areas, have this gender dimension, and we have to take it into account when we draft the proposals. The sustainable developmental goals that are so important for Europe is another thing that we have to include and to take into account in our proposals, and the international cooperation. Many important challenges, the most important challenge in the world nowadays, such as the food, the water, the health, are global problems. It's not a problem that Sevilla, for example, has, or a problem of Italy, but a problem of the world. So these problems are global by nature. So we have to work in this international cooperation to address this challenge, this global challenge. The next section of the report is focused on the Foresight Action Plan that Josean proposed to Ulysseus. In this case, the report proposed 6 different areas in which Ulysseus can work. The first one is the Ulysseus X Foresight. This Ulysseus X Foresight is about building a unit of foresight in Ulysseus where all the universities can collaborate, but not only from the capacities or the capabilities of each university, but from our governance. This is the proposal that Josean, that the Trends report made us. Another area in which we can work within Ulysseus is that something that the report calls the Ulysseus Future Snapshot. What is a snapshot? A snapshot is a possible picture of something that could happen in the future, in the near future, in relation to a given megatrend, but using our knowledge and using our imagination. This is a snapshot. And the proposal is that each of the innovation hubs could be in charge of carrying out a workshop on future snapshots in their field of action. This is the proposal that the report gives us. On the other hand, there is another word in this report that is the moonshots. What is a moonshot? A moonshot is described as a higher risk but ambitious project. And in this sense, the proposal is to create something that could be called the Ulysseus Moonshot Research and Innovation Program that will promote challenging pilot project with the aim of resolving complex societal issues, pulling together the resources of Ulysseus partners and stakeholders and attracting the know-how of talented researchers from all over the world. This is what the report proposes also, to work in these Ulysseus moonshots. Cross-pollination, what does it mean? Cross-pollination is to put together different researchers coming from different areas with different ways to think, different ways to approach a problem. If they work together, the idea is that the solution of the problem is going to be more successful if we work in this collaborative manner, in this multidisciplinary way. Something that is also important for the report is what is called the Ulysseus Critical Technologies Ecosystem. It seems that the critical technologies are now the focus of geopolitical and strategic cooperation. The report shows us an extensive section, the Annex 2, I think is the Annex 2, that show us the critical technologies that are most important now in the whole world, and how the leaders of these critical technologies are not European countries, but the States, the United States and China. So we see the creation of this Ulysseus critical technologies ecosystem. It's also something that we have to take into account in the alliance. And finally, another thing, the important thing that the report recommends us is to support to the annual strategic foresight reports agenda that are prepared by the GRC. And the report has an extensive section trying to show us how to support this annual strategic foresight agenda. So this is the timeline that the Foresight Action Plan proposed to Ulysseus, starting this year with the creation of the Ulysseus Foresight Unit, but finalizing in 2030 with the foresight assessment and rethinking the foresight capacities of Ulysseus. And to finalize workshop, the report, has a series, a list of conclusions and recommendations that Josean thinks that we have to take into account in the next coming years in Ulysseus. For example, some of these recommendations that could be very important, at least for me, when I read the report, is that the foresight capacity that we have in Ulysseus is a process of trial and learning, trial and error and learning during this process. So we have to work on pilots. As I mentioned before, we have to adapt continuously the GPS of the radar and to learn about these pilots. Something that is also very important is that we have to create we have to work in synergies and create this critical mass among the different innovation hubs. The recommendation is that we have to select just one or at most two different areas to focus in our collaboration in order to gain this critical mass and avoid the risk of dispersion. And one obvious candidate, of course, is the artificial intelligence, because it's something that is part of the Ulysseus Innovation Hub. We can work in artificial intelligence in aging and well-being. We can work in artificial intelligence in cybersecurity, in digitalization, and in all the Innovation Hub. But always keeping in, with this idea of including the transversal, the skills, the transversal social science and humanities, the ethics dimension, the gender dimension in all the proposal that we have to, that we want to draft within the context of Ulysseus. And this is also very important for a very important conclusion of the report. Another thing that I think is important also to highlight is that we have to avoid the trap of the inertia and continuity, because just to react to a challenge, to a new change, is something that we have to do. We have to adapt to the new changes, to the new things, but it's a losing strategy if we just react to this. So we have to, it's more about making Ulysseus stand out among the 60 alliance with something truly innovative and truly creative, where all the university of the Alliance can work on an exciting and transformative project, where we fall in love with the transformative capacity that the university, and specifically the Alliance, the European Alliance, have to create a better world. And this is, I think, the final recommendation and the final conclusion of the report. The report finished with a metaphor in which our foresight capacity, our foresight unit can be like a telescope for the future, and also finish with a poem of Mary Oliver that says that we have to keep some room in our heart for the unimaginable. So with this poem, I conclude my presentation, and I hope you will be eager to read the full report and that you enjoyed it as much as I did last summer when I read it. So thank you very much for attending. This is all for me by my side. And let me check if there is some question in the chat. Okay, there's no question in the chat. So if there is no anything that you are interested, I would like to finish just insisting again, please read the report. It's a very important tool that we think we have in Ulysseus. It's not just a deliverable, but something that we need to use to increase our research opportunities and the strength of our alliance. So thank you very much to see this webinar, and hope you enjoy the report. Thank you, bye.